Hello everyone, Vic here with another video talking about the Halloween franchise. Today we're talking about the best and worst openings in the entire Halloween series. First thing first, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We welcome all your support. We appreciate all your comments. Moving ahead, video after video, trying to grow the channel. All the support is heavily appreciated. If you like these videos, please subscribe. So what makes a good opening in a horror film? Well, in my opinion, you want to establish a great tone, you want to establish a great story, and you want to establish a great villain. And if you don't do one of those three things, it's kind of a downer, doesn't really hit the mark. But what are some of the great openings in horror film history? Well, the opening to Scream, that whole Drew Barrymore sequence, amazing. Set the tone for the entire Scream franchise. Still rank one of the top kills in the entire Scream franchise. What else really hits a spot as an opening? Well, honestly, the opening of Friday the 13th Part 2. Alice getting killed. Jason randomly in a suburban neighborhood somehow has tracked down Alice. You see the decapitated head of Mrs. Voorhees in the fridge, and then an ice pick right into Alice's face. Great opening. But today we're talking about the Halloween franchise. Now, Halloween franchise has so many movies in it that there's plenty of openings to talk about. Some are amazing, some don't quite hit the mark. I'm going to give my reasons why as we get into this list. So, let's go with the top 5 best openings to begin with. First of all, number 5, The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, this is a controversial pick because a lot of fans still don't like Curse of Michael Myers. Some fans still hate this movie. It's still on the bottom of a lot of lists that I see where they're ranking the Halloween movies. Why? Well, because the story, quite frankly, is a mess. I mean, there's no getting around it. This movie makes no sense. The plot is incoherent, both in the producer's cut and the theatrical version. Splice them together, you get a better version, but still the story is incoherent. But that said, it's not like all the Halloween movies have great plots or great stories. These movies are all over the place, so I don't hold that much against it because of the terrible plot. What I do love about Halloween Curse of Michael Myers is that amazing fall atmosphere, that great tone. I like the human characters, and we have one of the most badass Michael Myers possible. Now, the opening of Curse of Michael Myers, the fact that I'm ranking that high in my top 5 best openings, reason why it's going to be controversial is because, of course, the opening features the death of one of the most beloved characters in the franchise, Jamie Lloyd. You're thinking, hey, Vic, how can you love the opening of Curse of Michael Myers? Such disrespect done to the character of Jamie Lloyd. I know, I get it, I understand. We all love Jamie Lloyd. I'm a big Danielle Harris fan. Who doesn't love her? Love Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 4, Halloween 5. But all that said, I know she dies here in the opening of Halloween 6, but I just find this entire sequence to be just exciting. When I watch The Curse of Michael Myers, I never ever think to skip through this opening sequence. Everything from the nurse person who was helping Jamie when Michael comes up from the shadows behind her, implants her against the wall, kills her. Everything from that to the guy, the construction worker dude getting killed, to the bus station, and finally to the barn. All that's like a super exciting opening to a Halloween movie. I don't know why this opening does it for me, but I love her getting away, but then Michael doing a full-blown car chase after her. I love her getting to this abandoned bus station, which for no reason at all is completely abandoned. I don't like her leaving the baby at the bus station. I felt like that was a little bit too much. I know it ended up working out well, but that seems like a very bold decision by Jamie Lloyd to leave her baby in the bus station. I don't know how realistic that is, even though obviously Michael Myers probably would have gotten the baby if she hadn't done it. The barn sequence, her death scene, I mean, even though I don't like it's happening to Jamie Lloyd, it's a fantastically suspenseful death scene. It really sets a tone. It sets the perfect picture of a badass Michael Myers who means business in this movie. So I'm doing it. I'm putting Curse of Michael Myers, character defamation, character assassination of Jamie Lloyd and all. I'm putting that at number 5 in my top 5 favorite openings. Number 4, let's talk about Halloween Kills. Now, another movie that, based on my reviews, is really not a popular movie for me in the franchise. I do not like Halloween Kills. I'm going to be honest. I had no interest in this new version of Tommy Doyle. I thought Evil Dies Tonight, the entire mob storyline, was one of the stupidest things in the entire Halloween franchise. But credit where credit's due. This whole flashback sequence at the beginning of Halloween Kills is done very well. It takes us right back to 1978, Haddonfield. We get random cops tracking down Michael Myers after the events of Part 1. We get an amazing looking Michael Myers in this sequence. I mean, if you could just bring back this version of Michael Myers from the flashback era for the new movies, I mean, they really got it right. So it feels like you're back in the 70s. This sequence is probably a little bit overrated. Some people feel like, they want to see an entire movie in this sequence, but that's really like they have a movie for that. It's called Halloween 2. I mean, and maybe the actor who they got to play Dr. Loomis was an amazing lookalike, but some of the dialogue, Hawkins, did Michael kill again? I mean, how does Loomis even know this officer's name? I mean, he's hanging out with Brackett the entire movie, so he knows the entire police department. So some kind of sort of what seems to be off dialogue from Loomis here in the opening of Halloween Kills, but you get the cool moment with Lonnie. You get some backstory for Hawkins in terms of him accidentally killing his partner. And you get Michael surrendering. I mean, yes, you could have left this up to the imagination. Ultimately, the sequence doesn't really play that big of a deal in terms of the story for really the entire trilogy. It doesn't really factor in. But it's just a very well done, cool sequence. I wish they would have skipped the part before that where Hawkins is found on the ground. He's like, I gotta take out Michael, whatever bullshit he says. I mean, Hawkins should be dead here. I wish they just opened the movie just straight with this flashback. I would have preferred that. Just go straight to flashback, opening credits. Better done job, in my opinion. But still, a great opening sequence in the Halloween franchise. Now, let's go to number 3, Halloween H2O. Wow. Well, Halloween H2O, I know it's polarizing because everybody says it's a Scream knockoff, teeny bopper, WB, CW, MTV generation, whatever you want to call it. It's a 90s Halloween movie with a 90s vibe. I get a lot of fans are against that as a bunch of stupid masks, but the opening of Halloween H2O, in my opinion, is pretty flawless. I mean, in terms of execution, we get the great Mr. Sandman song playing as with the opening. Miriam comes home. The creepy instance of Michael having broken into her house. We get the funny, hilarious Joseph Gordon-Levitt appearance here, getting a skate in his face for talking shit about Michael. And listen, I think Michael in this opening sequence is scary. He has the same mask from Curse of Michael Myers, so we get some consistency there. The whole death scene with Marion makes sense to me. Yeah, actually, there's a lot of questions about this sequence to a degree. If you want to go back and look at my Halloween H2O video exploring Halloween H2O, I really get into the nitty-gritty details of the scene and story-wise what it could mean. But I don't know. I'm extremely entertained by this opening sequence in Halloween H2O. I think it gets the tone right. Maybe the rest of the movie doesn't actually live up to this opening. I mean, I would say that this opening sequence and the end sequence of H2O are the two highlights of the movie. So the middle part, not amazing, but I think it's a great ending to the Miriam character also. Now, what they do with Nurse Miriam in Halloween Kills, stupid, worthless, no point in bringing her back. This is the actual proper ending for her character. Big mistake to bring her back in Halloween Kills and pretty much disrespect this movie by giving her such a stupid kill. This is for Dr. Loomis! And then she just doesn't have bullets in the gun. Well, you didn't really do much to honor Loomis's legacy by just getting killed right there, Miriam. So, but Halloween Kills, or Halloween H2O, great opening sequence. Okay, number 2 on the best Halloween openings, Halloween 4. Now, this one's going to be just short and sweet, short and simple. As you may know, Halloween 4, my favorite sequel in the entire franchise. I mean, I know that it's underrated. Some people don't have it in their top 3. I got it the number 1 on the sequel list. I mean, it's not better than the original Halloween, but I have it slightly above Halloween 2, and I stand by that. The opening sequence. Well, what is the opening sequence? Well, am I talking about Michael being rolled out after the 10-year coma and killing some people in the ambulance? No, I'm not talking about that, even though I do like that sequence. I'm strictly talking about the opening credits playing over that mysterious autumn cornfield, barn area, Midwestern sort of country area. You got the Halloween decorations, you got the wind blowing, you got the eerie, creepy music. Something about this opening, I mean, it doesn't feel like necessarily a Halloween movie, but it is an amazing tone setter. It's an amazing establishing atmosphere type of opening. And I don't know. Sometimes I go back on YouTube and just watch the opening credits of Halloween 4. Something about that background. Whoever thought about it, if it was Dwight Little who directed the movie, I don't know, but fantastic. Maybe it's too high on the list based on that. It's not a real opening. I'm not even talking about there's no kills here or nothing. There's an established Michael Myers, but damn it if that's not the most fantastically tone-setting opening in the entire franchise. If you haven't, but I mean, you've all seen, I'm sure, Halloween 4, but go back and revisit those opening credits. Some things are amazing. Okay, but anyways, and our most celebrated best opening to the entire Halloween franchise. What else could it be other than the original opening of the original Halloween 1978? Little Michael Myers decided to lose his mind on Halloween and kill his big sister, clown costume and all. I mean, you get the classic point of view shot. You know, Michael, I guess, probably was being babysat, wandering around the yard, decide, hey, you know what? Hide and go seek by myself is boring. I'm just gonna go kill my sister. Stalks his way into the house, makes his way upstairs. Point of view shot of him stabbing his sister. Look, it's the opening sequence that set the tone for the entire franchise. So it has to be number one in the top opening sequences. Are there some flaws here? Yeah, I mean, what the hell did his sister do with the boyfriend? Because the boyfriend literally leaves the house 30 seconds after supposedly some sexual stuff happening. So there's that, and then when the parents pull the mask off of Clown Myers' face at the end of this opening sequence, the parents kind of just stand there awkwardly for a few moments. They really don't react, and you get this long tracking shot, zooming out on Michael, showing his face, but his parents are just standing there for almost an awkward amount of time. I would have had one of them maybe start to rush into the house to check on the sister, but they just stand there awkwardly until the camera zooms out. So, number one, best opening in the franchise, easily. Now, before we get to the top 5 worst openings in the entire franchise, I want to take a moment first thing to take a sip of my tea because I can't do these videos without my tea time. Black tea is the best. Never let anybody argue that green tea is better. Black tea, hint of almond milk, cinnamon, you can't go wrong. Do want to let everybody know in the comments, if you have any suggestions for future Halloween videos, please let me know in the comments. I've been known to take the ideas from whatever fans we have on the channel and just run with it, do a video. So if you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment. I want to announce to you guys that very soon I'm going to be doing some live streams, which I've never done that before, so I figured I'll try it out, pick some topic to talk about. I'll give the dates ahead of time. If you guys want to join me on the live stream, there'll be some live Q&A. You can ask any questions. We can discuss anything Halloween related. And also for our deep dives, you're going to be posting the movies a week ahead of time in advance so that if you want to watch the movie that week and then hear me and Nick Arcana talk about it, you can join us and do so. Even some of those deep dives actually might become live streams as well. So we're just going to experiment with a whole bunch of things as we try to take the channel to the next level and offer hopefully better, more entertaining content for you guys. So, okay, that said, let's get to our top 5 worst openings. Now, look, the openings here I'm going to list, it doesn't mean I hate these openings, but something has to be in the bottom 5. So some of these might still be pretty good, but they just rank in the bottom of the franchise. So it's no knock on if you like these openings, then, continue to like these openings. This is just my opinion. So, okay. So the number 5 worst opening in the franchise, and this is going to piss people off, but I have Halloween 2 here. The opening, I know that everybody's going to be angry because you're like, hey, how could you diss the opening of Halloween 2? You have the Mr. Sandman music. You have the "You don't know what death is," and you cut to the sync horror Halloween 2 score, which I'm a huge fan of, actually. I love the sync score from Halloween 2, so you're not going to hear me dissing that. But in terms of an opening, you're just recapping you're recapping the Halloween 1. You're just giving us a replay of Halloween 1, which we really don't need, I don't feel like. We probably, if you're watching Halloween 2, you've probably seen Halloween. Probably you saw it right before watching Halloween 2. So we really don't need this recap. And recaps, I think, are always a lazy thing that horror movies do, especially horror sequels. A recap, typically the audience watching has already seen the previous movie. You don't need it to be beaten over the head with us what happened at the end of the last one. But not only that, you're doing this damn recap, and you have Michael getting shot like 7 times and then floating on the balcony and flying off the balcony. I mean, you're actually sort of changing the ending of part 1 when you show that dumb shit. So just that middle part, the recap, and Michael floating on water, flying across a bridge. I guess there was some board that he was walking on, or walking on air. I don't know, but pretty egregious stuff. So Halloween 2, amazing movie, amazing sequel. But for that opening, you deserve to be in the bottom 5. I'm sorry, it's true. Okay, number 4, Halloween Resurrection. Well, in my Halloween Resurrection review, I was actually pretty complimentary towards the opening of Halloween Resurrection. And make no mistake about it, it's the highlight of the movie. The opening, for what I'm about to say about the opening, the rest of the movie is a big drop off a cliff after this opening. It never quite hits the level of the opening, which I guess really does say a lot of negativity, bad things about Halloween Resurrection. If the beginning is in the top 5 worst beginnings, and the rest of the movie can't even match with that. But that's a different topic for maybe my Halloween Resurrection video. If you haven't seen that, go back and check that out. But let's talk about the opening. We have Jamie Lee Curtis in a hospital. Michael Myers, randomly years after the events of Halloween H2O, has finally decided to walk out of the woods and attack Laurie Strode. What the hell has he been doing the last couple years between H2O and Resurrection? Who knows? Hanging out in the sewers, making friends with guys named Corey, maybe doing random murder sprees across the country. I don't know. But here he is, conveniently, a couple years later, kills some random people, and now he's on to Laurie Strode. What's my big problem with this opening sequence? Nothing really per se beyond just that I feel like Laurie Strode was killed in a very stupid way. I feel like Laurie Strode, for all her experience, all her cunningness, all of her horror movie knowledge, just from being the most celebrated Scream Queen in the history of Scream Queens, she should know not to be reaching for Michael Myers' damn mask under any circumstance. Michael, who's grabbing his mask in an effort to trick Laurie, but how is Michael even playing this game with Laurie? I mean, he's doing the thing that the paramedic did at the end of H2O, where grabbing the mask, but where the hell, how would Michael have even seen that? If Michael, as we know, had switched places with the paramedic, switched costumes back at the school and walked off into the woods, did Michael somehow catch a cab to this mountain area, this hill where Laurie was going to decapitate the paramedic? Was Michael in the background watching that going, oh, look at how he reached for his face. I can use that to trick Laurie years later. I mean, it makes no sense. So let's say by sheer coincidence, Michael is not playing possum, but he's literally just grabbing his mask. That's very uncharacteristic for Michael. This has to be a game. He has to be playing possum. And he sets the trap and Laurie falls for it. She says, oh my God, I have to know. I have to reach for the mask to make sure. Come on, Laurie. Seriously? Are you surprised when you reach for the mask and it finds out that Michael's fucking with you, grabs your arm, and you end up dead? It's just kind of a lazy end for Laurie Strode. So that's the only reason why this is in the top 5 worst openings. It's not a terrible opening in general. It's just stupid way of killing Jamie Lee Curtis because contractually she just wanted to be killed off and be done with the entire franchise. Of course, she comes back 20 years later for a new trilogy, but this time she was completely done with it. And we get this kind of whack beginning here, so whack death of Laurie Strode. So let's go to number 3 on the, should I just call it the most whack endings or the most terrible endings, the worst endings, let's just say it straight out, the worst endings of the series. Number 3, Halloween Ends. Now, Halloween Ends, I haven't really give a full deep dive review on Halloween Ends yet. It's coming up pretty soon. First, I'm going to tackle the Rob Zombie Halloweens. But, I understand that they're going for the whole Corey thing. So this whole opening thing is used to establish Corey, but it's kind of a silly opening. I feel like it's a little bit over the top what happens to the kid. The kid also, like, playing into the practical joke on Corey so hardcore just seemed very over the top. None of this seemed natural. None of this seemed like it would actually happen in real life. Yeah, it just felt like not a good opening for the Halloween franchise. And then the thing with Corey is I get more annoyed with Halloween Ends when I think about the idea that Halloween Ends doesn't pay off Corey's character. Knowing what happens to him in the end and how it's completely shoved to the side for this stupid forced Laurie versus Michael epic battle at the end of Halloween Ends, knowing how that's how it's going to end, all this stuff with Corey just seems pointless. His whole plight, his whole, turn to evil, it all seems like a pointless thing on rewatches because you're like, this is all bullshit. I mean, it's going to end up basically accomplishing nothing, and then Michael snaps his neck at the end of the movie. Stupid. And this opening, I feel like, is going to be fast forward when I watch Halloween Ends because I don't like it. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it's over the top and feels like almost like the Evil Dies Tonight thing. It feels like a scene that belongs in a different franchise. All right, that said, number 2 on the worst openings list, Halloween 2018. Now, Halloween 2018, I've come to appreciate this movie. It's the best movie in the new trilogy by far. In my opinion, it should have been a standalone sequel. You don't need Halloween Kills. You don't need Halloween Ends. But I don't like this opening sequence in Halloween 2018. I don't like Aaron and his podcasting friend being led in here to try to provoke Michael Myers. Why would anybody let them do this? Why would you let them come into an area where all the prisoners or patients are there, and Aaron breaks out the Michael Myers mask and tries to rile them up? There's also no payoff in this scene. Also, it just he pulls out the mask. Michael Myers, from his perspective, can't even see the mask, but Michael doesn't react. All the patients around him react, but Michael doesn't give a shit. So you have this thing of all the patients losing their mind, and you just cut to the opening credits. That's really not a payoff for me. I don't think that. I guess is the idea that him provoking Michael there is the reason that Michael ended up escaping? Well, not really, because we know that eventually it comes out that Sartain is the reason Michael escaped. The only reason Michael escaped was all because of Sartain's doing. So none of this makes sense, I guess, other than to have Michael get his mask back. But was it that important? And if so, could you have Michael given more of a reaction in this opening sequence? Maybe had him like just turn his head a little bit, or I don't know. It's seems like a silly scene when you watch it on rewatches. This opening sequence can easily be skipped and you lose nothing from the movie. But all this fails to compare to the number one worst opening sequence in the entire franchise. No question. I'm feeling very confident about this. It is Halloween 5. Halloween 5, which completely, it doesn't erase the ending of Halloween 4, but it doesn't pay it off, because the end of Halloween 4, we had Jamie Lloyd stab her sister, transference evil, Jamie Lloyd's a new killer. We really don't get that here. We get Jamie Lloyd now just being watched in basically a hospital setting. But this whole opening of Halloween 5 is goofy because you have Michael stumble into a sewer and then basically into the river, and we get kind of an awkward 1 minute sequence of Michael floating down in the river. It seems just like a really silly thing. And then Michael stumbles onto the shore of a hermit's house, and inexplicably, for reasons unknown, the hermit decides to take Michael in and watch over him for a year. I mean, this hermit, he doesn't live too far from Haddonfield. He sees someone with a mask. Can't he put two and two together and kind of make sense that this is probably Michael Myers? And doesn't he think that nursing Michael Myers back to health probably won't be good for his own health? I don't know. A year of taking care of Michael, you don't alert the authorities, you don't try to get rid of him at a certain point, you just perfectly nurse him back to health, and when he wakes up, he immediately kills you? Damn. I felt bad for this hermit. A year of your life nursing this dude back to health only for him to kill you immediately. It's a terrible opening, a stupid opening, and there was a better opening, the alternate opening of Halloween 5 with the, I guess the Doctor Doom character, or Dr. Devil, or Dr. Death. Dr. Death, that's what it is. This guy who's doing like a voodoo curse to bring Michael Myers back to life. That makes much more sense to me than what we get here. So Halloween 5, the opening could have been a lot better if they hadn't rushed into the production of Halloween 5, and it just stands out to me as the worst ending in the entire series. Okay, well, there we go. That's our top 5 best openings and our top 5 worst openings. Next up on the Halloween playlist, I'm going to be doing a review of Rob Zombie's Halloween. Finally found a way to watch it. I couldn't find it in my box set for some reason, so I had to figure out how to watch it on streaming. Found a way to watch it, so I'm going to check it out very soon. Give a full review of both Rob Zombie's Halloween Part 1 and Rob Zombie's Halloween Part 2. Been a long time since I watched them. Had a lot of comments in the comments talk about, hey, you should review Rob Zombie's Halloween. So I'm doing a deep dive and exploring theories of. We'll see how it goes. I have to say, I wasn't a big fan of these movies when I first saw them, but I'm going with an opening mind. Rob Zombie, I hope this doesn't let me down, because I want to include you guys in the Halloween franchise, even though I see you as almost like different movies. But, either way, we'll see how it goes. Until next time, you guys take care.